Hey, welcome in. It is my pleasure to be with you tonight along with Mr. Dominic Lorenz from Catella Chronicles. How are you doing tonight? It is Todd Fox. And how are you doing, Dominic?
Holy crap, what a freaking night. Oh, the ebbs and flows, we've talked about it throughout. This is a game where the Ducks can hang their hat and say, yes, did they escape? Yes. Did they win? Yes. Are we thrilled? Yes.
Yes.
What a night. Holy crap, this is great.
Bro, we talked about this the last podcast. I talked with Locked On Ducks the other night about how big a game this was going to be and how he even thought, Kyle from Locked On, you thought too, that we would see Dostal in net tonight, not Mrazek. And Mrazek, dude, I mean, I'm telling you, we'll get to his play as we go along because I want you to get into how the goal scoring went tonight. We'll talk about the puck play, the defense, the way that the Ducks looked for two periods, very dominant against a very, very, very good Vegas Golden Knights. And we were saying, man, anything they could get out of this game would be impressive. And to come away with 2 points, my goodness, Dom, how pumped are you right now?
Hey, I thought in overtime where it was helter-skelter throughout, I was like, pity point. We got at least one. But for the Ducks to come up as big as they did on the road, and as John Eilers and Brian Hayward said on the broadcast tonight, the Ducks at T-Mobile Arena, franchise history, 3-12-3.
Yeah.
Awful, disgusting, vomit city. This was the perfect style of game for the Ducks based on how they've been winning lately. It was fast. It was up-tempo. They matched Vegas every step of the way. Yes, I know we'll dive in with the third period wasn't the best period for the Ducks, but they still were able to find a little escapism, get to overtime, and make something out of nothing.
Yeah, this is their Houston Astros, if you're the Angels, where they can't win in Houston. The Ducks have had, like you said, no success really in Golden State, in the Golden Knights Arena and T-Mobile Arena there in Vegas. That's what I meant. But the Ducks tonight, again, everything we've said through the first 14 games, Dom, this team is 10-3-1, sitting at top of the Pacific Division by themselves now with those 2 big points. Now you look at this team and you're like, damn, it's a new star every night. It's a new person stepping up. It's a defense that, will make some mistakes, but they cover themselves later. And again, I thought Mrazek played great in goal for 2.5 periods. And I'll count that overtime because those are some phenomenal saves that we'll get to in this game. But again, blown away by how good this hockey team is now, just 14 games into the season. And just the ebbs and flows of this team, man, like you're talking about, it's fun to watch, bro. So yeah, Dimitro getting in there with some and leave your comments. We will read them real quick before we get into the goal scoring, because I want you to go over that before we get to the 3 stars.
Yes.
Over here on Instagram, we got Let's Fucking Go. We got last 5 minutes, and the third was crazy. Ducks breakdown was just live. Also, you had a heart attack watching overtime. So a lot of fans are pumped up by this game, man.
Yep.
Dude, one more thing I got to say about this is I was, for the second straight game, I'm watching the the opposing broadcast. I watched Dallas and Vegas. Their broadcasters are saying the same thing. Hey, we got a 1-0 lead on the Ducks. This Ducks team's been hot, but we're a far better team. Even when they fell down 3-1, they had all the confidence in the world that they should win this game. And they were all pumped going into overtime, Dom.
Yeah.
But boy, did the tempo change and their mindset changed when Trouba knocked in the winning goal.
To silence a Vegas crowd like that is absolutely the best thing ever. I was thinking to myself, I was watching this game. We know in California, Ducks and Kings are a massive rivalry. You have the freeway face-off, and there's bitterness between the fans and the players, so on and so forth. Right now, in this new generation of hockey, I guess, with the new youngsters coming through the pipeline for the Ducks, I feel just as hardly about Vegas being that team I just want to beat the hell of every single time. And when the Ducks, they played Vegas 3 times this year, this was the only visit to Las Vegas The other 2 games will be at Honda Center, with the next one being 2 weeks from tonight at Honda Center, November 22nd, which that one, if you thought tonight was – this was the appetizer tonight. The main course is happening in 2 weeks. Nuts. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, this was the measuring stick of, can we compete with these guys?
Mhm.
And so far, every test that's been presented in front of the Ducks, they've either passed with flying colors or they've matched up pretty damn close. So with that being said, get us into the scoring, and I'll play the goal scoring sound every time the Ducks score. Talk about how this game went from each side, because it's not like last night where there was 12 goals, or the other night, and it was going to take
And
forever.
we needed to simplify it a little bit.
Yeah, we could go all in this one, man. Let's hear the scoring, my friend.
Absolutely. Now, again, food for thought at the beginning of this game when we talked about, was it going to be Dostal or was it going to be Mrazek? It was clear to me why they picked Mrazek. In 10 games in Mrazek's career against Vegas, he had 6 wins with the goals against of only 2.33.
Not bad.
So again, Joel Quenneville kind of goes deeper into the stat portion. He used the analytics.
That's where it worked.
Analytics, we talk about it all the time with Angels, but see, this is where the analytics worked, right? This is always the good part about the Anaheim Ducks. So Coach Q goes with the analytics, puts Mrazek in there. Mrazek, definitely his best game out of the 3 by far this season. He's now 3-0. So just putting it out there of why Mrazek started over Dostal, which on the back end of a back-to-back tomorrow against Winnipeg, fully expect Lukasz Dostal to be in net tomorrow. The goal scoring started absolutely with Vegas. The Ducks put themselves down for the second game in a row. Ben Howden gets his 3rd of the year, 1-0 Vegas. But then random stick drill, tip the puck out of midair. Big bad Frankie Vetrano. Frankie V gets the job done. His 2nd goal of the year, assisted by Zellweger and Trouba. We'll get to Trouba in just a little bit. 1-1. In the horn, let's go. 1-1 after 1, and to steal a goal at near the end of that period with 15:49 into the period, Frank Vetrano, who's been more quieter this season, kind of been around, tossing some pucks around, hasn't been on the stat sheet as much with putting pucks in the back of the net.
Hey, that was a huge momentum stopper too by the Ducks, getting that goal to equalize it. And then heading into the second period fresh, 0-0, you tell your team, let's go out there and let's grab the lead.
And this has been kind of one of the hallmarks lately of the Ducks. Not all the time, but again, second game in a row where they go down 1-0 early on. Dallas was 2-0 and they rallied back. So tonight, down 1-0, rally back. Then, best second period by far this season. The
Correct.
Ducks double up, 3-1 lead after 2, courtesy of the man, the myth, the legend, Uncle Leo's 7th of the year.
Wow.
This guy on a freaking hair. He looked different tonight. And I know I've said that against Dallas. I've said it against Florida. I've said it against New Jersey. Every game, I noticed something different about Karlsson. And the goal that he made, steal the puck, swim out to the middle of the ice. Troy Terry, your boy, gets his 13th assist of the year.
That guy's on fire, dude.
I know we've had to rely in the past on Troy Terry to score.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing how pretty his passing game is this season, and he is setting up these high-flying scores for the Ducks. Karlsson extends his point streak on a nifty little forehand, backhand, flip to the top net where your mama never does. 2-1 Ducks. And then why not do it again? Leo with his 8th of the season. Let's go. Hey, don't fix what ain't broke.
Dude, need I say, and you've been talking him up since he got his first couple goals of the season.
Yeah.
Can he finish in the top 10 in scoring? I had to interrupt you there. If he gets at this pace, is he a top 10 player?
I think he can be because, again, he's a guy that can put the puck in the back of the net, but he knows how to serve the puck on a silver platter to other players on this team. So, absolutely, sure, let's go for it. You got to roll with it at this point and kind of get that going in the right direction. So, Karlsson doubles the pleasure, doubles the fun in the second period, deuces wild. 3-1 Ducks. Then you get to the third period.
Wait, before you do,
Okay.
There was a couple things I want to mention from the Vegas broadcast.
Okay.
A couple of the the announcers for the Vegas, there was a couple calls that were granted on when you saw the slow motion. There was a couple calls that they could have got that the Ducks got away with a
Yep.
slashing, and I think one to the face as well.
The
Boy, oh boy, were they bitching about that.
Yeah. The one to the face, they ended up calling it after both teams went into the locker room at the end of the second.
yeah.
They gave them that penalty. So Vegas technically started the third period
Up a
on it
man. Yep.
up a man 5-on-4. So that one, at first I was like, oh, like he just kind of flailed, and then you saw the other angle, and Terry did hit him in the
Yeah,
face.
he
So,
hit him. He hit him squared up, but they missed the call, and I was just like, boy, they could not stop talking about that.
no, and especially when a team basically Vegas took it up the ass in the second period.
Yeah, they did.
The Ducks beat them on every front from start to finish. If you could get a 20-minute period of hockey to put on film defensively, that was one of the better 20-minute sessions, in my opinion, of this season.
Absolutely.
Against a high-quality team. So
yeah,
again,
this wasn't San Jose, dude. They were beating a good team.
No, and to make it even better, you talk about San Jose. We gave up 6 goals to San Jose. We limited a Vegas team to only 3. And through most of the night, you kept guys like Mitch Marner and Jack Eichel off the stat sheet, even though they had 1 assist apiece. Looking at the overall numbers, just 1 assist apiece. That is a phenomenal night defensively from the Ducks. 100%. To keep guys like that, it's fantastic. But Vegas gets 2-1 on the power play. Dufresnoy, and then Karazic gets the 3rd goal to tie it up. Under 5 minutes remaining in this game. You sit there and you say, okay, Vegas has been there, done that. They are a star-studded team that has been to the playoffs, and they're going to go out and win games. So for them to come back, it's understandable. Did the Ducks have the best third period in the world? No. A lot of soft passing, a lot of turnovers in the neutral zone. I will say, for as great work that Jackson Lacombe did tonight, joining the rush, making some nice, pretty passes, and engaging in the forecheck. Yes, there was some errant passes. I'm not going to put everything on him and why the Ducks gave up 2 goals in the third. But you could tell a little bit. They put so much energy in the first 2 periods that dip came. And you hope it would not last forever, and you would kind of stale them out and kind of maybe escape with a 3-2 win. But again, Vegas is a good team, to take nothing away from them. They are a dominant team. So to at least force it to overtime and, as we say, get that pity point, to me, that was a good direction at the end of the day.
It seemed that, look, it seemed to be that the Ducks, like Carlson's goal was 5-hole. It was more like very difficult to get their goals. They had to sneak them through there. They had to be really good shots, the wrist shots and things like that. I was going to ask you, we've been talking about Mrazek. I know on Instagram there's Lewis says, I don't want to hear any Mrazek slander. However, he was beat stick side twice. I know the Ducks tried to eliminate that and push the Knights to a strong glove side on their shots, because his glove side was 100% tonight. I mean, that dude was stopping some amazing shots tonight. He did really, really well. I was really proud of the way he played glove side. Now, stick side, he played better. But I do believe, because the left side was open up, his stick side, he was able to be beaten a couple times because of the puck play by Vegas. But all in all, dude, even though those 2 goals came late, I thought he had played a great game up until that point.
He was staunch throughout this night. Again, looking through the breakdown, 39 shots on goal for Vegas, 29 for the Ducks. And Mrazek ends up making 36 of 39 saves. Great night for Peter Mrazek.
Best night by far.
Well, best night out of the 3 for sure. I will say, when it comes to Mrazek, in the first period, he was a little gutsy. You saw him in front of the blue paint, getting around, playing the puck, and there were some helter-skelter moments, and I'm like, okay, let's temper our expectations a little bit. Don't get greedy, because this is a type of game against Vegas. Whoever makes the least amount of miscues will win the game.
Absolutely.
So calm yourself. Second period, lock solid. That's what we like. Again, third period, sometimes a goalie is only as good as his defense. And the comparable aspect of that is think of wins and losses for a starting pitcher in baseball. A pitcher can throw 8 shutout frames and lose the game 1-0.
Yeah, that's true.
You're only as good as what's in front of you at times. So I think it's just one of those nights where Mrazek was on his head at times, but he was able to make things stick, and the Ducks picked up their goaltender at the very end. So I will say a very, very good night for Peter Mrazek.
Absolutely. Uncle Cracker, real quick before we go, or your Cracker says, I want to get into hockey, but don't know have any tips. My tip real quick before you give yours
Yeah.
would just go to a game, go to an
Yep.
actual live game. If you can't get into a live after going to a live game, then hockey just isn't for you.
Yeah, live game, and just absorb as much as you can in the game of hockey. If you can't go to a game, watch as much as you can on TV. Yes, it's not as good as being there live in person. To me, out of all sports, hockey is the number one sport I love going to. It is so energetic. Your attention is focused 24/7. So go to hockey, watch hockey, just absorb it all. Absolutely.
Yeah, yes. Now, in overtime, Dom, I don't know if you noticed, but there was some pretty damn good saves by Mrazek. And
Absolutely.
I felt that the first 2 or 3 opportunities for the Golden Knights were on the right side, glove side, strong side, and he came through. And I was just waiting. I'm like, if the Ducks can't capitalize at some point here, that stick side's going to get exposed. And I was wrong, actually, because they went stick side then the last 2 opportunities, and he still went butterfly and made 2 amazing saves, right?
I think just in overtime nowadays, again, the old rule used to be 4-on-4 hockey. Now it's 3-on-3 hockey. There's so much more open space. You're going for those odd man rushes. And I was like screaming at the TV when Mason McTavish fell on the ice, lost the puck, and it was a 1-on-1 break. And I'm like, this is it. Is Mrazek going to stand tall, or is this game over? And Mrazek made the stop. That was the moment I knew the Ducks were going to win this game. When you can stop Vegas on a 1-on-1 after essentially Mason McTavish basically fumbled the bag, late in this overtime session. It worked in the Ducks' favor. Again, I can't say enough great things about Peter Mrazek tonight. He came up clutch when he needed to be. Was it the absolute most perfect game of his career? No. But was it gritty and it got the job done? Absolutely.
Oh, it did. And it was amazing, dude, to see those saves in overtime, because I think was it Terry that messed up the puck or slipped, and it wound up being
McTavish.
Yeah, or McTavish did. And then you just had a freaking breakaway of all. I mean, it might as well have been a penalty shot.
Yep.
And Mrazek came through.
And he was aggressive. He came out and he was like, okay, I'm mano a mano. If you're going to beat me, find a way. And luckily, he was able to close the 5-hole just in the nick of time. And what I liked from his positioning was he not only dropped the leg, his right leg, towards the 5-hole side, you saw him take his right arm and just not only put it between the body and the shoulder, kind of create a wall there, but he dropped it a little lower than usual. So then you have the shoulder angling down. So if the shot did get through, it was going to roll up and kind of drop down. And cover everything, because at that point, whoever was shooting for Vegas, there was no way he was going to the backhand side to flick it on up top shelf. He was staying forehand, and then there he went. So good read by Peter Mrazek, and it ends up leading to the game winner. Who would have thought? Jacob freaking Trouba, his 4th goal of the season from a guy who's crushing it, Uncle freaking Leo. Let's go.
Hold on.
Holy Moses.
And here's the thing too. Like, I mean, that period was winding down quickly.
Yep, under 40 seconds.
Yeah, I'm thinking, okay, we're going to shoot out. Let's see who we're going to have in the shootout.
Yep.
And man, it didn't go that way. We get those 2 big ass points, dude. I mean,
I loved it. Trouba came off the bench. He's kind of waiting around the blue line as a defenseman should.
Uh-huh.
Carlson's able to stick that one away with Terry, and then it just kind of squirts out. Carlson finds Trouba just trailing behind the defender, and the best part about it was in front of Trouba was Jack Eichel. He was caught on his heels. He could not sprint out to block that puck. Gives plenty of space to Trouba, and I love just the toe drag swag of the stick. Just dangle the carrot in front of the netminder, get him to expose the 5-hole, open up the legs like any, as our good friend Fernando would say, any, Buena Park gigolo will spread his legs and just shove it right up his legs into the net. Ducks get the win with Jacob freaking Trouba, and I just want to do it one more time right now.
Yeah. Love it, dude. And real quick, Dump Baseball says Coach Q's scrappy hockey is really showing with this crew. Just better shot selection and defensive awareness of these other teams, getting them on short give on and go. So, and tonight, and that goal by Trouba, he went straight one-on-one, had the easy lane, no one in front. He could have did what many Ducks players would have did last year, overthink the play, pass it to the slot guy, and then it either gets deflected or the stick handler can't get the puck a nice shot. You know what I mean? Can't control the shot. I've seen so many bad passes, unnecessary passes. These guys are trusting their wrist shots, trusting their eyesight to either go high or low or to the side. And it's working, bro. I mean, they are playing like a well-oiled machine. If you would have told me, Dom, that in 14 games, this team would be 10-3-1, I'd laugh your ass off. I'd be like, haha, more like 3-10-1. But, I didn't think they were going to be as bad as last year. Obviously, I thought they'd be better, but I did not think that they'd be capable to be playing like this. Like, this looks like a team that has been in the postseason the previous at least 2 years. They look that good.
And like I tell you, this is what not good, great coaching and development can get you. I think the style in which Joel Quenneville coaches a team is a match made in heaven for what the Ducks have in guys like Carlson, Terry, McTavish, Gauthier. All of those players, they fit that system that Joel Quenneville has. And when you have everybody firing on the right cylinder, you had a really, really good road trip that opened up the season early on, that East Coast swing. Again, I love having a good long road trip early on in the season. You mesh with the team, you find out a lot about each other, and that's where that bonding occurs. Then they continue that great play on the mini homestand, and now you're feeling yourself. You've won 6 in a row. You think anything we can do is pure gold at this point. We are untouchable. And when you get to that level of I'm feeling untouchable, anything's possible at this point. Absolutely. And I like Jesus' comment.
We're all tugging our Trouba tonight.
Exactly. We say we're honking our halo. We're tugging our Troubas.
That's a good one. I should have note to Randy. We need to come up with a Trouba one.
Yeah, we need a new version of Stukas, because Stukas is our angel. So we got to think of a new one for the Ducks. Again, these post-game shows are very early on in the season. We're developing, seeing what the rhythm and flow is between myself and Todd when we're together, or if it's individuals. So trust me, we got ideas, we got plans of what we're going to do to incorporate the show. If you guys have suggestions, please let us know.
Yeah, we need to run that by Randy for sure.
Yeah. Randy gets the ultimate say. He's the producer to the star, but we will take your viewer your viewer opinions into consideration, because we are Halos in the infield. We are not like other pages that don't take opinions, because we are very smart. We are for the fans and by the fans.
Exactly. We go to games. That's the most important thing. We're like you guys. We're not like any of these crappy other podcasts that don't. And they use analytics. By the way, I was listening to a football podcast, which I thought was a good one. Side note, and they were like, "Hey, his E&O is better than his PCO." I'm like, you guys are just trying to make yourself sound smart.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work. That whole StatCast generation is garbage. You can go by how they're playing. It's not rocket science. Don't act like it's, you're far better because you have little abbreviations for extra stats that mean the same as regular stats. So
exactly.
that was my little.
There's your Joe Madden rant about analytics.
Yes. Real quick before we get to your 3 stars, EQ says we can finally root for a good Anaheim team again, and Dump Baseball says now send the Coach Q to the Halos. So Christine is having a good time over here, spamming us here with some W's. We love that. So let's do it, my friend Dom. I'm gonna play the 3 stars thing while you think about it. Who are your 3 stars for the Ducks win 6 in a row, my man?
Let's go.
Let's hear it, my friend. Who are your 3 stars of the game?
Well, looking at the stats here tonight, I feel it's relatively easy. And with the number 3 star, I'm going to give it to the man that got the game-winning goal. Pull on your Trubas. Give me Jacob Trouba, his 4th of the year, game-winning goal. We win in overtime. Yeah. Trouba, who was an acquisition from the New York Rangers last season. A lot of people said, well, he had last year on his contract, this year on his contract. Again, we know the defenseman pairings for the Ducks need to get a little stronger as the season goes on. But the amount of veteran presence and leadership quality and playing ability that Trouba has brought to the table, especially since Radko Gudas went down and we're down 1 defenseman, I'll take Trouba on my team every day. No, if I had to pick right now between Gudas and Trouba, who would get a contract extension? Give me Jacob Trouba at this point. So number 3 goes to Jacob Trouba. Your number 2 star of the game here tonight. Well, it's going to go to the goaltender. Give me Peter Mrazek. Mrazek's going to go on the 2. I know Tyler had it, he's got Mrazek at the 1 slot. I can totally make an argument for Mrazek at the 1 slot. I'm going to give Peter Mrazek the number 2 slot tonight, our 2nd start of the game. Your netminder getting his 3rd win as a Duck. And you got to give props to Coach Q, knowing that Mrazek had good numbers against the Las Vegas Golden Knights, allowed just 2.33 goals a game. There were some moments that were, hopefully things are going to go all right. But he clamped down at the end of the day, got the job done. Give me Peter Mrazek in the 2 slot. And then number 1. Come on. It's not hard, people. He has 2 goals. He gets an assist on the game-winning goal. He was flying down the ice. The passes were crisp. He continues to find a new layer to his game each and every game he's out there. Everybody has talked about it. From his rookie season to now, completely different player. Last year to this year, he has fully ramped it up. And our broadcasters, John Eilers and Brian Hayward, did a great job of talking about this one nuance that a lot of people might not realize. Last year, during the All-Star break, it was the 4 Nations face-off. Karlsson played for his home country, and you're sitting there in home country, Sweden, and he only ended up playing 1 game in that tournament. Okay, you're thinking, well, Leo Karlsson, he's a star in the NHL. Why is he only playing 1 game? Don't know the rationale and reason. Maybe he was hurt. Maybe just, so many stars when you get to those Olympics and the national games. But he said he learned so much by being around his fellow countrymen, players that he's idolized growing up. He said, I was perfectly fine with only playing 1 game because I was there at practice. I was there during warmups, paying attention, learning more of the game than I ever have before. He came back after the 4 Nations face-off and finished off last year with, I think they said, somewhere in the range between 14 and 28 points. I think it was around 28 points, which was end of February, March, and April before the end of the regular season. And so far this year, 20-plus points. He is breaking franchise records. This dude, call him by his name, Uncle Leo Karlsson, the 1st star of the game. What a night. And I agree with Brett. We had some speculation about Mrazek. The first 2 games did not go the way we wanted it to against San Jose, especially that game against San Jose where it was, coming off of the season opening loss. You're like, we cannot lose to San Jose. This better not be what we see from Mrazek. Second game, he gave up, I think, like one less goal in that situation, but still not great. Tonight, to me, wipes the first 2 games off his slate. I will pretend that they never existed. Coming over from Detroit in the John Gibson trade. Give him a little time to assimilate and adjust. Let him get his skates under him and his bearings. So if this is now his new baseline, him and Dostal are going to be a great pairing here so far in 2025.
One more note on Mrazek. I thought he did a great job out in the behind the net, getting, especially in overtime, getting to some of those loose pucks where they had to pass them out of the zone because they were getting a rush, or the defenseman that was trying to hold the line was getting overwhelmed by 2 players. He went down there. He did a good job too during the game as well, like you said, being more aggressive, trying to get the puck out of there, and he actually had some pretty good passes down the ice as well, avoiding some icing calls, and just putting it right on the money. So
Yeah.
I thought, yeah, great performance by him tonight. But how can you can't argue Uncle Leo, man.
No.
Dude is playing just outside of what anyone thought he could be this year, and for him to have so many points so early, and a lot of these guys. I mean, think about it. If Carlson's not doing what he's doing, we're talking about your Terrys more. We're talking about other players more, because you still have 3 or 4 other guys who are right there with him almost.
Correct.
That have points higher than most teams. You know what I mean? So the Ducks right now are in an embarrassment of wealth right now as far as goal scoring and assist and plus minus. They are doing so good right now. So it's really good that if you haven't been to Ducks game yet, please go. Please support this team, and please show the right Anaheim ownership the love via social media and everywhere else where you got to do it, because tag the Samuelis, man. Say thank you for building this team and helping this team to get to where it's at. Throw a little love to Pat Verbeek as well.
Yep.
And Coach Q, obviously. Because, again, through the first 14 games, there is hardly anything to be negative about.
No, and looking at the breakdown of the stats tonight, 39 shots on goal to 29 in favor of Vegas. Vegas also won the face-off battle, 55.4 to 44.6%. Power plays 1 for 3 for Vegas, 0 for 1 for the Ducks. Ducks did win in more of the grittier categories. They had 18 hits to 17 hits. They blocked 21 shots against Vegas's 13. They had 3 less giveaways than Vegas, so being a little cleaner in that sense of the word. Outshot Vegas 8-7 after the first, 12-8 after 2, or just the second period alone. Again, second period was the most dominating period in this game for Anaheim on all facets of the game, offense and defense. Vegas, they threw the kitchen sink in the third period, 21 shots on goal to only 6.
Mm-hmm.
The third period is, I said earlier, the second period is what you're going to want to show when you want to have a master class in all phases of the game. Third period, however, is where Joel Quenneville is going to get the computer marker out and start circling areas. This is what we did wrong. This is how we need to improve. But that's fine. If you have periods like that, I'll take that. It's better to have little intermittent ebbs in your game than, oh no, the third period, how we played tonight, is how the Ducks have been playing for a week, for example.
Yeah.
You don't want that. If you can nip that in the butt very quick, I think that's going to be very good. Both teams had 3 opportunities with shots on goal in the overtime session. And you get deeper into the box score. This is a nice box score for the Ducks. You have Troy Terry with an assist, 1 point on the night. You also had Frankie Vetrano with his goal, 1 point on the night. Leo Carlsson, 2 goals and assists, a 3-point night. Olin Zellweger, who picked up a goal against Dallas the other night, he gets 2 assists tonight for 2 points. He also had 5 shots on goal. So some of the defensemen joining the rush tonight for Anaheim. And I think that's the best case possible, because you had Zellweger with 5 shots on goals, Jackson Lacombe with 4, and Jacob Trouba, who had 2 points, 1 goal, 1 assist. He had 3 shots on goal. And then Ian Moore had a shot on goal as well. So the Ducks, 13 of their 29 shots? Yeah, 29 shots coming from their defensemen. I think that's great to incorporate the defense joining the rush.
Dude, last year and the year before, Dom, I think it's safe to say, because I heard somebody say it's not my freaking take, but someone said that it's a Ducks fan. I won't mention who, but came on and told me, hey, man, the Ducks defensemen are like statues on the blue line. They don't move
Yep.
very close to the net. But to your point, under Coach Q, they are crashing the net and also establishing themselves as well. You got to watch out for
Yep.
the defensemen. They're going to chime in with a shot or two or a rebound.
And like I said, at the end of the day, it's early. And again, I want us to enjoy this moment as Ducks fans,
Correct.
somewhat temper expectation, because again, it's not because, oh, I'm waiting for the fall off. No, it's just it's an 82 game season. It's a long way away. Like
Correct.
we're 14 games in. We're about what, a seventh of the way there. So
Mm-hmm.
again, that's why I say temper expectation, because it's a marathon, not a sprint. This would be the same thing if the Angels at the end of May were in first place. I'm like, whoa. We still got June, the dog days of summer. We got a long, long way to go.
Hey, you and me know if it's the Angels and they're in first place at that time, I'd be like, dude, we got to get to the end of August before I start honking my honk.
Yeah,
But
stop the count at that point, as they say.
yeah.
But again, that's the only reason why I say temper expectation, just because it's a long season. Have all the faith. This team is fun to watch. The all grit. No, they're not, hanging their shoulders and, oh, we're down 1-0. They fought back in that first period. And as Dan says, to the point I was getting to, the Ducks have a lot of salary cap to play with. They could make some big moves at the trade deadline. And the more and more style of play like this, you're going to catch eyes from players around the league. So again, any expiring contracts that are coming up, any risks that Pat Verbeek might want to take, you never know what can happen. We've seen Pat Verbeek be aggressive. We've also seen him be a little more demure at time to time. So who knows? The Ducks could get rolling as we get towards the trade deadline. And Pat Verbeek may say, why do I want to mess with something that's working right now?
Yeah, if we got the chemistry and we don't have injuries, what the hell? Stick
We're
with what works.
exactly. And we are not a team that's playoff window and championship window is closing. We are not, for example, team like the Edmonton Oilers, who I would say this year, next year, have to win a cup or they're going to go back to being the last place Edmonton Oilers. So I think that's where that element of a trade deadline or even free agency can kind of play with your head a little bit, because Pat Verbeek's saying, hey, if we're rolling right now, again, why mess with a good thing? There is a healthy amount of veterans on this team.
Yeah.
And remember, we're still missing 3 key guys. We're missing Ryan Strome, who hasn't played a game yet this year. We're missing Mikhail Granlund, who's going to be out for a couple weeks with a lower body injury. We don't have Radko Gudas right now as an extra defenseman to work right now. So the Ducks are doing all this. These young kids are getting the reps, playing these hard games. And we've discussed this at length. The Ducks aren't getting away with a cheap, easy schedule.
Yeah, they got a tough schedule.
Man.
So if this Ducks team can, my thoughts on this is if the Ducks team can get themselves back into the postseason with a roster constructed or maybe a couple minor moves at the deadline, you're talking about like just all these guys getting more, talent and experience underneath there or to help their game for next year. And then it'd be like all the free agents, like you said, would be like, hey, let's take a shot at Anaheim. Let's go to Anaheim. Let's see what happens here, because they can load up and really make this team fun. Because in my mind, you could like this is like where you saying Edmonton's window's coming down, it's closing. It's like the Ducks are like, can we open that window? Is that window possibly opening a little bit?
It's a little crack. There's a crack. Honestly, I really do believe there is a crack in this window. And no, again, woohoo, temper expectations here.
Absolutely.
Kool-Aid. I'm going to put the Kool-Aid to the side. Am I saying the Ducks are Stanley Cup champions? No.
Mm-hmm.
Not yet. We definitely are seeing the foundation being built. It's been built, but now it's executing, and the Ducks are executing it in a massive way. Do I think the Ducks on this trajectory are definitely a playoff team this year? Oh, 100%. Could the Ducks, if they continue this play, could the Ducks steal a first round series win?
Possibly.
Sure, absolutely. But if that's the case, if the Ducks make the playoffs, massive win. if they get a series win in the playoffs, at least one,
Enormous.
I think that takes this rebuild, even though I think we're out of the rebuild. I think what was the analogy I made a couple of nights ago? It was we're rebuilding. We've re-soiled the pottery box, the flower box. We've installed the new plants. We've watered it. We've waited. We've shown some sunlight. They're they're growing, and now we're seeing the blossoming blooms.
Yeah.
We're blooming right now. If the Ducks can do that and go to the playoffs and win a playoff series, one of the two, I think we can now take those plants out of the little box and put them in the massive pots and grow them into trees.
Yeah, let's see what happens, because again, it's again, being a Ducks fan hasn't been easy. I mean, look, watching the Vegas broadcast again, they made sure that when they tied the game, they showed that the fact that the Ducks have a 7-year drought of the postseason. The longest drought, I believe, was Buffalo at 14, and there was another team at 7. I forget who it was. I think it might have been San Jose. But yeah, they want to shove that in your face. Real quick, to a Kings fan here. I'll read these and you address them, Dom. I'm a lifelong Kings fan since the early 90s. Anyways, I also been watching Ducks games this season. They look good. The refs were bad on missed calls on Vegas. Laughed when the Brian and John were talking about the Vegas team was a team that takes the least amount of penalties, and John was like, well, it helps when they aren't called on you, and laughed about it. Is true. And he said, sorry, Ducks fans, Anaheim needs to get rid of the DJ.
No, DJ. No, our DJ's great.
Look, the DJ sometimes can be a plus, and it could be a minus, but look, it's all up for interpretation. Like I've told Dom before he addressed this right now, I'll just say this. With the way the Angels do their whole presentation and stuff, I could give two shits. I just want to see a winner on the field. So right now, the Ducks are giving you a winner on the field. I don't care about all that DJ stuff.
Trust me, DJ JoJo, he knows how to hype a crowd. And I think that's the biggest part. If you're going to be a DJ in a hockey rink for an NHL game, you need to know how to hype a crowd. And he does that. Whatever music plays, I don't get to control that. Whatever. That dude is legit. So, there will be no slander from anybody on DJ JoJo. However,
King's DJ's better if we have
Yeah. Move on from your organ music, I should say. The Dodgers, the Lakers, the Kings. Oh, God, I can't handle the organ music. Sorry, I can't. I have a DJ over an organ any day. However, in your comment, Mike, I feel at times, and now we're going to relate hockey to football. The Vegas Golden Knights, when it comes to penalty calls, are the equivalent to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes.
Okay. So that should be self-explanatory within themselves.
Yeah, and you know what? to play off of that good comment, Dom, an analogy is the fact that these again were penalties that sometimes the Ducks weren't even close to being a slash or a roughing or something like that, and we got like every call on us, and it has been part undisciplined, but there was that factor of, hey, you got to prove yourself as a team to be getting calls or to be getting
100%.
away with calls. And you'll see some referees, teams will be able to let the guys play. Some just have the whistle ready. And tonight it was kind of a mixture. Like it seemed like there was times where it was like, let him play, who cares? And then there was times where like, oh no, that's offside. Oh, look, that's a cross check.
So. Every officiating crew is going to be different, and it is what it is. I will say tonight, Ducks had 3. What was it? Vegas 1 for 3 on the power play, and the Ducks were 0 for 1. I probably noticed Vegas probably should have been called for at least 2 more penalties, at least. Like, I'm like, really? The Ducks probably could have been called for 2 or 3 more as well.
Absolutely.
So it could have been a heavy power play kind of game, kind of like how it was in Dallas the other night and how it was against Florida at home on Tuesday. Either way, calls come and go. Tonight, 10-1, there's going to be a game where you and I are going to bitch about the calls. How they went against the Ducks. So tonight, I won't have to worry about the, bitching at the refs here tonight. We get to enjoy this one a little bit. But yes, I do agree. it was a little survival mode for some. For
Yeah,
some of it.
Grillmaster
But-
called it right there. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. And Demetrio adds in, NHL needs Vegas good. Lots of money coming in. I
Mhm.
wonder if, you have hockey, you have WNBA, you have football. Well, football can't figure anything out. The Raiders, they don't win. So
It doesn't matter.
no one's putting,
bet on the road team.
and then when you have the A's come in, the Athletics coming in, you never know how that's going to play.
Well,
But I would say
the rumor is, sorry to cut you off, Don, but
No, go.
this is a follow-up on your point. The rumor is the 2 expansion teams for the NBA are going to be Seattle and Vegas. So there you go.
One is gambling, one is hippies. There you go. Either way, someone's going to be smoking and spending money. Someone's going to be drinking and gambling money. So that's just how the worlds work. But
thank you, Mike S.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Mike. Thanks for coming on in. Even though you are a Kings fan, we appreciate you following us and having a good time. And, Ducks and Kings, day after Thanksgiving, their first matchup of the year. I'm pretty sure Mike will be invested in that game as well. But, man, what a night. This has been a fun one for the Ducks during this 6-game winning streak. And let's, as we always do, let's peek at the future schedule.
Let's do it.
We have to, because this is where it gets good. Again, the Ducks in the month of November have a grand total of 15 games, right? 15 games. I said at the beginning of this month, or right after the New Jersey game, I would have said, whatever. I said if the Ducks can get 8 wins out of the 15 games, even after how they played in October, I would say any Ducks fan would say that's a massive win. You win
Absolutely.
one more than 50%, you get the job done. Well, the Ducks said, Dominic, don't tell us how many goals to score a game, because we're going to score as much as we want. Because I was at the game on Tuesday, I was talking to Zach. I've talked to you about it. I said, how much more can the Ducks score? Like, can they really score 7? Score 7 against Florida. And they said, Dominic, you know nothing. We're going to score 7 against Dallas. Congratulations. Then tonight, this wasn't a 1-0 game. The Ducks score 4 more goals. All month long in the 4 games in the month of November, they have scored 4 more goals in every single game. They are 4-0 to begin this month. Tomorrow, for the first time this year, the Ducks will have a back-to-back. Lukasz Dostal will be in net, and it's the Winnipeg Jets who, as we look at the NHL standings, Winnipeg fallen off the curve a little bit, 9-5-0. They're on a little bit of a losing streak of 2 games. Going to be definitely an interesting game, because Winnipeg is a team that can go deep into the NHL playoffs. They can be Stanley Cup threats. They have really good goaltending. So you know what? I'm going to say the amount of energy that the Ducks have poured into hockey this week alone has been killer. And especially a divisional matchup, you got to, board the bus, get to the airport, and get back to Anaheim tonight. Luckily, whoever made the schedule was very smart. The Ducks Sunday games are typically 5 o'clock. Tomorrow's game is 7 o'clock. The Ducks get 2 extra hours. Some people say, oh, that doesn't really make any difference. Hey, would you rather have 2 hours or not 2 hours?
Yeah.
So I fully expect a hard-fought game. No, I can see this moving forward. The Ducks might come out strong at the beginning, and you might see their energy tape away in the back end of a back-to-back, especially with Winnipeg having, I think, 1 or 2 days off going into tomorrow.
Prior, yeah.
So I think if the Ducks steal a point in this game, great. They win a game, great. If the Ducks don't win this game or get any points, yeah, it'll suck that the 6-game losing streak ends, but I won't be upset. Oh no, it will suck. Damn it, we could have got 7. But I'll understand with everything that's gone on this week. But who the hell knows? This team has been so locked in right now.
It's hard to be like, oh, we know what's going to happen next, because they have a track record of this. They don't, because this is, no matter what you say, no matter how we've broken it down, this is a completely different team from Ducks seasons past. And they seem to be determined to break that losing streak of not making a postseason. And real quick, the last time they won 6 in a row was November 5th, 2023. The longest in franchise record in history is 2015 season. They won 11 straight.
Yeah.
So so that was a huge turnaround right there for the Ducks. But it seems like they hadn't done this in a long time.
No.
Like and it's only been a couple years, but still, I think this is impressive, Dom. 8-1-1 in their last 10. They are plus 14 in goals scored versus goals allowed. So those are my final thoughts. I mean, I am just blown away how good this team is playing right now.
And to your point, they're doing this on minimal rest.
Yeah.
Like they had one game in between the season opener in Seattle and San Jose. A day here, the longest the Ducks have had in between games, 2 days. Between the Carolina home game and kicking off the road trip in Chicago, there was two days off. They went every other day in that road trip, except from Tampa to Florida, they had 2 days off. After the Florida game, 2 days off, came home against Detroit. Start this month, it's been every other day. Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Back-to-back tomorrow. This upcoming week, every other day again. Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. The following week, when the homestand begins, they'll have a back-to-back. For the first time, the Ducks will have more than 2 days off at a time in 2 weeks. After the Vegas game at home on November 22nd, which we have something brewing. No pun intended. We'll tell you guys
this week sometime.
This week when it becomes absolutely finalized. But if you're available, November 22nd, it's a Saturday. Keep your schedules open. That's all I'm going to say. And maybe I'll drop one more nugget. We want to see you in person.
There you go.
Is that a good tease?
That's a good tease.
Okay.
The where and when will come later.
The where and when will come later. But after that Vegas game on the 22nd, the Ducks will have 3 days off, but they don't have to travel. They stay home. So really, the Ducks are doing this on 1 to 2 days rest. They are in a rhythm. And I think right now you've won 6 in a row. You do not want to mess with a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, let the good times flow. And I'm even looking into the December schedule. And now I know I'm probably drinking the Kool-Aid and getting too deep into the future. The Ducks, even in early December, every other day, first week, second week, 2 days off here. The first time the Ducks will have a massive break in between is during the week of Christmas. They'll play Seattle at home on December 22nd, and they won't play again because it's a league-wide thing. They get Christmas off because, the NBA and NFL take over Christmas Day. After the 22nd, their next game is at Staples Center. Yes, it's Staples Center, people, not Crypto.com.
Yeah, I can't give into that either.
At Staples Center against the Kings on the 27th. So the Ducks will have 5 days or 4 days in between games. So between now and the end of the year, it's pretty much 1 or 2 days off because, again, in February, everybody's going to have the 2 weeks off for the Olympic break. And I think that's why NHL got smart. We're not going to give anybody a free ride the first half of the season. We are going all guns a-blazing, and it is working in the Ducks' favor.
It sure is. So we got those young legs. They're skating hard and skating fast, and we skated through this show. It seems like we've only been talking about 15 minutes, but we're 54 minutes in. A little bit overtime. We ran into overtime ourselves, but it was a thriller beating the freaking Las Vegas Golden Knights. So real quick, I got to ask you to give the fans that are just jumping on now your 3 stars of the night. And then we will, what is it called? See you tomorrow and bid you farewell for tonight. But we'll see you tomorrow because the second half of this, what is it called? Back-to-back starts tomorrow against Winnipeg. So, Dom, who are your 3 stars again for tonight?
Absolutely. And I can guarantee I won't be at the game tomorrow. I got family commitments. My mom's birthday. So shout out to Mom. Happy early birthday.
Happy birthday.
The Ducks, as you know, it's known as the Honda Center. We nickname it the Ponda Center. That place is going to be freaking rocking tomorrow. I don't care what anybody says, regardless of what happens. The beginning of that game is going to be rocking. So if you're
Thank you, Blue Snake Jake, by the way.
Yes, sir. 3 stars of the game. Before we get to that, let's just quickly run through who scored goals tonight. Frankie Vetrano in the first gets his 2nd of the season. Leo Carlson takes over the second period, gets his 7th and 8th goal of the season. And then the game winner in overtime, his 4th of the year, Jacob Trouba. Your 3 stars of the game tonight. Number 3, the game-winning goal. Jacob Trouba, who's been a stud on that blue line for the Ducks. He is willing to jump on the rush, gets the game-winning goal through the 5-hole. Number 3 star, Jacob Trouba. Number 2, our netminder. Boy, oh boy, Peter Mrazek had the game of his life tonight for the Ducks. Came in with great numbers against Vegas. It extended to tonight. In 2 weeks when the Ducks are at home against Vegas, is it a Peter Mrazek show once again? That'll be a conversation for the future. But you never know. Coach Q is willing to use the analytics, and he uses them in the right way. Number 1 star, it's a beast. What do we call him, Todd?
Uncle Leo.
Uncle Leo getting the job done. If we look at the numbers as a whole in the NHL this season, a 3-point night for Leo Carlsson. He now ranks 3rd in the NHL. 23 points this season. He is behind 2 players who are tied for first with only 24 points. Nathan McKinnon of Colorado and Macklin Celebrini of San Jose. Leo Carlsson is that dude. And if any of you don't know that quite yet, Leo Carlsson's that dude. And we're going to freaking say that a lot this season. Yes. 23 points in 14 games. If you put that on a trajectory, and this is going to be Dominic doing math, I don't know how this is going to go, but in 14 games, you're 5.85 way through the season, right? So 24 times 5.85. Leo Carlsson is on pace for a 140.4 point season.
Jeez.
It could be the greatest season of all time. This is going to be huge. Huge season.
Huge.
But there are your 3 stars, Trouba, Mrazek, and Uncle Leo Carlsson.
Gotta love it, man. So all those watching over there on Instagram, on X, here on YouTube, thank you so much for participating.
This is our biggest night.
Oh, yeah, biggest night of all. We have over 100 people watching right now, and it's for the first season of Ducks Hockey Post Game here with Dom and Todd. And hopefully at some point we get Zach on here to do the trio like we promised. But for right now, man, we're enjoying the hockey. We hope you do too. 10-3-1. Any final thoughts, Dom? As soon as you're done with your thoughts, I'm going to play the goal horn and we're going to get out of here.
Hey, 4-0 to begin the month of November. Rock solid. 6-game winning streak. I know there's going to be a lot of pressure tomorrow on the back end of a back-to-back, but keep the faith. Keep it rolling. The Ducks 10-3-1 on top of the Pacific Division. Ducks fly together. We love you guys. Let's go.